another beautiful day here on MX24, and I'm excited to tell you that we're about to have the conversation you've been wanting to have. My name is Yaw Opoku Mensah, and we're about to get into the conversation on voting voices. Now, you do know that we came up with this initiative that is Voting Voices. Obviously, it was at the back of the 2024 elections and matters arising. Then we said, why not continue to talk about the success of political parties, the success of government, hold government accountable, and of course, individuals as well who are put in power to serve this country. Well, we've gone beyond that conversation as well, and we're bringing you exciting things here on the show, but also to educate ourselves as well. And so, leading to the 2028 elections, matters arising is what we're getting into this morning. So if you're ready, I was born ready. Again, my name is Yaw Opoku Mensah. So, he's been praised for transforming classrooms and critiqued for his ambitious education reforms. Now, Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum is making a bold move for the NPP flag bearer slot. But beyond the chalkboard and policy progress, and of course papers as well, what does his vision for Ghana really look like? Today on Voting Voices, we're joined by Yaw Opoku Mensah, a spokesperson for Dr. Adutwum, to, of course, help us understand the man behind the headline, his leadership philosophy, his big ideas for Ghana's economy, youth development, which is, a lot of politicians are big on that now, and how this years at, of course, the education ministry has, his years at the education ministry, how that has shaped him as an individual. So if you're ready, I definitely was born ready. Good morning, sir. How are we doing?
Good morning, and thanks for having me. I'm good. Yourself?
Awesome. I'm super excited to sit with you because I think I've asked too many questions that have gone into thin air. Why is he choosing to lead the party? What is happening? Are there, conversations that we haven't heard yet? Things that are happening behind the scenes that we do not know about that maybe hopefully this conversation will bring out. Well, that's why we're seated here, okay? That's why we're going to be getting into this. But when you first heard that Dr. Adutwum wanted to stand, to contest for the flag bearership position, of course, in the NPP, what were you thinking? Did you immediately think that, okay, he's ready for it or not? What was your mind at the time?
Fortunately, I didn't hear from anywhere. I was part of the process. I have been with Dr. Osei Adutwum since 2021, and I do understand what his visions are, what he stands for, and his passion for a progressed Ghana, a passion which is anchored on dignified life, a life that is worth leading or living, and mentoring the younger generations as well. And that's why if you followed his activities and engagement with the young people, he always admonished them to have a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. And he keeps saying that the progress of Ghana is ahead of us and it's not beyond us. So this is a man who has lived in poverty, declared war on poverty, won the war, and decided to give it back to society. As a private individual, Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum, before he entered into politics, and within the political space, he kept echoing, even at the United States, at the United Nations, and where he has to do a presentation on education matters in Africa and Ghana. He re-echoed to the world that Ghana can engineer itself out of poverty. And therefore, the aspect of why he keeps echoing poverty, that we can win against the war of poverty, has got to do with the missing link in our developmental agenda. Now, if you follow through our developmental trend, you get to understand that there is a gap, a big gap, between what we were supposed to do at independence and within our current dispensation. And since 2021, he has been echoing the need to inculcate into our educational system science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And that is the formula that the South Korean used, the formula that the Singaporeans used, and the formula that China saw from Japan and developed a new curriculum to suit that agenda. And eventually, where is China now? China is everywhere. with technology, with their engineering mentality, with their innovative thinking. Just recently, they did a military parade. And they are telling the world now that when we talk of strong nation, we are not looking at the shoulders. We are not looking at TikTok people. We are looking at what technology can do. And that is what they display to the world. And you ask yourself, where is Ghana? Where is Africa? What are we doing as a continent to be able to catch up with what our peers has done within the space? Mind you, in 1961, Lee Kuan Yew came to Ghana. He had a conversation with our president then, Sergeant for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and he told Kwame Nkrumah in the face that you are blessed with natural resources plus human resources. But at my end, I have nothing like this. But I know I can make it. With that growth mindset, he quickly adapted that engineering attitude, that STEM education element within their societal progress. And today, Ghana, that Lee Kuan Yew came to praise, Ghana goes there to beg. How do you feel?
I feel terrible. I definitely feel terrible. And every day I wake up as a young Ghanaian, I am wondering whether we're making progress.
But there is hope.
There is hope.
Strong hope.
Every politician tells us.
No, this is not just a conversation or a rhetoric.
Yeah.
We are looking at a man who has lived it. And what did he do to be able to overcome that hole?
We will get into all of that conversation. Sure. I know you're ready to fire out, so we'll get into that. But we have a video of the man we're talking about. And so let's get into that, and we'll be back to get into the conversation proper.
Ene day Ghana emaba emrantie ene mpanimfo. Memu medin kita ho kakra. Fie be nwotwe atwam yi ana abato amotoma na na adoda nkwakufu ado ma ya kwanya ma ibidi omen so sabre no mu omampani na na adoda nkwakufu ado ma makwanya ama me bigina mu ma wanfo a wobosomtwe enu achi no me sign ebeye deputy minister of education achi me sa beye minister for education nam sa kwanya yi so adwuma me yeye e wo mo anim munyina mudi ho adanse ne ne de ma kono ye me fe ene se bia me nam bia mi hia mo a bitimi ba ho be ka kiro se Dr. Adutwum ye da wase ene adwuma pa wo ye ma omen me nso me da mo ase na wo pepa munya ne mpa bo amoboye e de ta machi ma madwuma ye no nso e be so mo ani me da mo ase pa nyame e yisra mo ma bra wo munyina ade ba akọ me hu se nyame e ma makwanya se me mesom esom no e de me kopie abrochimemu o ma e frɛ no America ana California ko California nyame ye madom e ma obibini me ko bie schools akese be me nsa ho e de som America man enche pi America emrase bedwom e bo mabaso e ma mamu e wodwuma me koye ho be mfie aduonu a atwam yi enam sa kwanya no so e no mampani samre no onye ni mampani na na danko kufu ado bi pie ho be hu madwuma ne hu dwiri no ka kire me se krache bragana na be boa me na mensesa emumesuam me ba yen so de ose ye woyo bosomtwefo ada Roma omoto abama me amekomra se bedwam ibedi oman enumesua anim ewo mfie na atwam ema itimi ye adwumaden yaye bi ese be ma be ye bi na wa meye ni nyina emre ba na emre twam na sabre ye party ye nhihye a nyame ya adom a enche pi ombe bi ekwan ato ho ama wo a opeso tu franka wakofa krata na odudin akoka ho ame ato so aba emre nu du a mo ada Roma mepese mejina bi na me nso makotu sa franka yi edi ama me party na se me dim kwanimu a mabeye omampani ama mu nyina na mujidi amunya omimu ama me ko education ministry me beye minister a mo bo abaso e wo monten so no minim se gidie no e na delegates ene wo ma akanya ne Ghana fo nyina mo beta abachi na gidie no ene nam so e mema daache mo ada Roma betimi edi oman ni me eden sesan esronko a e wo abruchimemu no yedi bia baha na yetimi ehu se yenso isi mu achede nenso nkachi oman fapim efri omampani odi kan pe so bedru sa abre no ye ba beto so na oman daache ɛbɛyɛ fɛ meda mo ase nyame nhyira
Yes, so that's the gentleman we're talking about. And this morning, we will be delving into some of the success stories, scandals, and the big conversations, that have come up with the name Dr. Adutwum. And after that, we're going to talk about his candidacy. When I say scandal, you started laughing. Because the biggest would be the free SHS conversation, right? And ironically, I would say that, praising the fact that free SHS was such a great initiative and that a lot of Ghanaians, and because we had, I think this will be in November 2024, we had young people in this very studio telling us about their experience with free SHS and praising. These are not young people that you hired. They're students from Achimota and University of Ghana. And they were super excited, and they were actually telling us here that they were going to vote Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because of free SHS. Now, so we cannot say that we're celebrating the success of free SHS, but yet blame the man at the center of it for the operational, misunderstanding. And the struggles that came with the free SHS. But I mean, I when I say this to play the devil's advocate. But really and truly, who else were we supposed to blame for the food scarcity on campuses, the fact that the student didn't have, accommodation, and sometimes really and truly there wasn't, the resources to teach the students, like, for a very long time, can you remind me what that is called? Curriculum to run the system wasn't even available.
It's never true. It has never been the case that there is no curriculum to run the free SHS. What is curriculum? We're looking at all activities that goes on in and out of the school.
Yeah.
Under the supervision of the school.
Right.
That is the broad understanding of what a curriculum is. Then you go into the subject curriculum. These are full of subjects which are put in one basket that schools take out to form their basis of their own school-based curriculum to teach. Now, during the implementation of free SHS, there was a curriculum in place. So that curriculum, we did under President for the Education Act, I think 779, 2008, brought a new curriculum. That is what resulted in others going 4 years, 3 years, reverse out.
Yes.
That curriculum ran through till 2017 when we took over.
Okay.
Then in 2018, we started the process in introducing a new curriculum because that old curriculum has gone through the 8-year, 10-year period. Therefore, we needed to develop a new curriculum that fit the test of time within that framework that we find ourselves.
You find yourself in.
So, as at that time, the old curriculum was still running. The general as that was still running.
Yeah.
The visual as was still running. Everything was still running. There was no change. There was no change in curriculum. Now, that process continued till a new curriculum for currently what the first years will be using was brought in. Mind you, we ended that of the primary school in 2019. Primary school had their set of new curriculum in 2019.
Right.
GHS also had theirs in 2021. And then we started that of the SHS, did all the piloting. And I think if you care to know, you can call some of the schools. For example, St. Louis was part of the piloting of the new curriculum.
Okay.
This school, Okuapeman, was part of the implementation of the new curriculum because that was where the test base was done. 33 schools were used to test the new curriculum. Now, so currently the new dispensation is that there is a new curriculum which is running, which has introduced aerospace engineering at the SHS level, which has introduced biomedical science at the SHS level, which has introduced the robotics, AI stuff, etc. at the SHS level. Something that we never thought of. Now, it even affords a science student to even borrow a full course from general arts. Now, the current dispensation is that if you offer elective math, there is no need writing commas.
Yes.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
So that's the current dispensation that we are witnessing, and the new guys who are entering are the ones using it. I think those who are transitioning into Form 2 are also using the new curriculum, which its implementation was started in 2024. So it has never been the case. If there wasn't any curriculum, the WASI wouldn't have been possible. And just recently, when we went, 2 days ago, we were in the Western region. Specifically, we visited Axim. Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum had the opportunity to see what our fathers and uncles do with regards to fishing. And he made a bold statement there that we need to change the face of that ecosystem, that we should begin to use fishing boats, build it in Ghana, have a technical institute attached to the fishing, to the boat manufacturing end, that trains our young people so that our neighbors in other countries will come purchase from Ghana. And we want to use the experience of the Malaysian in building the fishing industry, giving them and employing over 150,000 people within that space so that they can own it, have a dignified life, and move away from the canoes and the outboard motors that we do use. That is how progressive society is. So that's why we keep telling you the future, the better days of Ghana is ahead of us and not behind us. We only need that right leadership, that right mentality, that bit of hope. And don't tell me hope has never satisfied the aspiration of a suffering mass. But we, together, we can rise.
I'm glad you say that to yourself.
Together we can rise.
Right.
And I have no doubt in my mind, with the leadership of Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum, Ghana's future will never be the same again.
Okay. Well, we are looking forward to a better Ghana, all of us. And so if he gets the nod and he does that for us, I think all Ghanaians will be happy. Even he himself will be very, very happy. Now, for many Ghanaians, Dr. Adutwum is synonymous to education and, of course, educational reforms. Now, but why is he going beyond that is the question people are asking. What is the bigger vision driving this decision to run for flag bearership?
Yesterday, I visited the Facebook wall of the Ministry of Education, and I saw a flyer, a very powerful statement in the flyer. And it says that education is the most powerful tool for national development. So therefore, let's, even among ourselves, if not education, why am I here?
Yeah.
If not education, why are you here? Doctor had the opportunity of experiencing a certain form of education, had the opportunity of experiencing same outside the shores of Ghana, lived there, saw what our peers are doing there, and that is what challenged the mind. That if you want the most humble students or learners in any part of the world, they are in Ghana. Enter into any Ghanaian classroom. The first thing that will meet your eye, all the students will stand up, true or false, greet you. That is the hospitality that our trained our learners, that values embedded in them shows even in the face of visitors. So whatever you want to mold these young learners into is achievable. It's got to do with, as I indicated to you, the right set of leadership and the right mentality. So it tells you that education is a powerful tool with, when you want to seek development for your country. It is education that begins to nurture the inner built potential of the people. And it is the inner built potential of the people that you do harness, put them together for national development. And therefore, we cannot, as a country, a third world country, and it's not for anything that the world social development begin to divide the world into three, calling some as core countries, calling some as semi-peripheral countries, and calling some as peripheral countries. And Ghana finds itself in the peripheral country. What do we do? Produce raw materials, give it out to the core countries and the semi-peripheral countries. Then we go the very raw material, then we go and purchase them and bring them into our country. Every day, what do we cry about? Exchange rate, true or false?
Sure.
The city is going down, importers are happy, exporters are angry. The city goes up, the dollar goes up, exporters are happy, importers cry. government says, so once the dollar is coming, it affects my revenue. So are we going or we are coming? So it tells you that there is a fundamental challenge with how things are done. And we can only do that when we make education the anchor, giving the right set of skill to the young people. And that is why his famous quote, "We can engineer ourselves out of poverty," becomes fundamental in this conversation. How? Now, with the Chinese experience, now they are producing over 1 million engineers every year.
Okay.
Go to Vietnam, they are producing almost 100,000 engineers every year, forcing the likes of Samsung, etc., to relocate into their country. Why? Because they will get that technical people in that space, and therefore setting up their industries there do not affect them, because the right set of skill can be found in that country. So you ask yourself, then what is Ghana doing? As I indicated to you, the brightest, talk of the most humble student that you can find across the length and breadth of the world can be found in Ghana.
Is it not humility that has landed us here?
No. Yeah. So when you talk of that
Because
humility,
our kind of humility is touted timidity, really and truly.
I don't know. Maybe probably that's your understanding.
I mean,
But the assertiveness of what you expect the kids to have is embedded in the curriculum that you are giving out.
Right.
I told you about his experience at Axim, talking about building boats,
Right.
having a technical institute there. So what it means is that those who ever find themselves within that enclave will have a fair understanding of what engineering can bring to their community. So once you have that base, they understanding the prospect in that field, the right set skill, that engineering mentality. What it means is that you are inviting innovative thinking. You are inviting critical thinking as the bane for the accelerated development that you seek for. And therefore, it cannot be read, chew, pour, and pass.
Yeah.
But here you are looking at what the mental capacity can offer society. And therefore, education becomes that greatest tool to be able to wage the war against poverty and win it.
So we're talking his background in education, helping massively in his leadership. So now let's come back to policies, right? Of course, we're going to touch on governance a little bit as well. So let's talk policy. What are the key priorities that Dr. Adutwum would focus on if given the mandates to lead?
So his vision is very clear and very simple. To summarize it, Doctor's vision is that Ghana can only rise if every Ghanaian rises, and prosperity must start with the individual. Once you prosper, I prosper, the nation prospers. In the olden days, our forefathers, our mothers, our uncles didn't go into cocoa farming just because they wanted Ghana to be the leading producer of cocoa. No. They were making a bold statement that they were in that venture to make a living. And that living should translate into a dignified life for themselves and their family. Go to Kumasi, Ashton, Amokom, Asafo. The huge story buildings that you see all belongs to cocoa farmers. In Asafo, there is a house there known as Ship House. Very huge building, so many rooms. And as at that time, they were marrying 3, 4, 5, etc. Plenty children. And they were still able to afford for them. Why? Because they entered into that business to make a living. Not just because government wanted a tonnage of whatever, a leading producer of cocoa. No. That wasn't the case. So therefore, once you prosper, I prosper, the country prospers. As a result of that, University of Ghana do have a careful hall as part of their contribution for the establishment of that school. Cocoa has been the bane, and those who have started that wasn't looking at anything but prosperity for themselves. So that becomes that anchor, that becomes that missing link, creating a conducive atmosphere for the people. Every individual talent do have a space in the economy, harnessing that, contributing that towards the progress of the economy for a development Ghana. That is a summary of what he stands for, represents. And therefore, what you will have to appreciate has got to do with what I told you about the war against poverty. So we are not just looking at, we will say that there are certain individuals below the poverty line, etc. No, we've gone past that stage. In 2057, Ghana will be what? 100 years. What are the building blocks to let the world know that we'll get to the height of where Indians have gotten to? And that has got to do with what he talks about as using education as a weapon to fight poverty.
Okay.
Again, creating a set of jobs and skill and entrepreneurship that is anchored in what the Ghanaian spirit is. Mind, Ghanaians are entrepreneurs themselves, right from colonial days up till now. Look at what we do for ourselves. And that's why at times you say Ghanaians are magicians. How do we even survive?
How do we survive
within this harsh environment, etc.? But it tells you, like for example, kids who drop out of school. We say, oh, their heads are not good for the classroom, so we take them to learn mechanics, etc. But with those educated, takes our car to these dropouts. Immediately you start the car, they tell you where the fault is. So it tells you there is a potential that we've left out of that space that we haven't taken out or even dreamt of making them beneficial to our progress. So that is why jobs, skills, and entrepreneurship becomes an anchor as part of what he seeks or to bring on board. And again, we're looking at community level prosperity. Community level prosperity. Now go to Makola. Our mothers, our uncles, our fathers traded. You hear Ghana Revenue Authority getting into the market with padlocks. What are they coming to do? And you do report some on your network that they haven't paid their taxes, they lock their shops, sack them from the space. But you've never heard Ghana Revenue Authority going to them to ask them, what can we do to support your business so that you can expand and employ more?
Not their job.
No, that is not. That should be their job. So that is why community prosperity is of vital importance in waging the war against poverty. We seek to establish prosperity centers. We have to know what you are capable of. What kind of support can we give you to be able to achieve that set targets that you do have for yourself? By so doing, we are not coming after you just because you haven't paid your tax. No. We want to see the progress that you've made. And through that, as you spend, we get the taxes to develop the country. And therefore, nowhere in the world has a country prospered leaving out its own people aside to get to the heights where the US have got into. It is the individuals that makes the country. And therefore, you need to pay a particular attention to the individual's prosperity. And that is the missing link from 1957 up to date that we haven't touched. And that is why we keep saying and telling the world, we can engineer ourselves out of poverty. We need that right mentality. We need that resilient spirit that Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum has exhibited from the education ministry end. And you know, in his own constituency, piloting this same vision from his own pocket.
We're going to talk about the success of that.
Yeah, I'm just giving you an information. 150 engineers and doctors coming from his constituency, sponsored by him. And it's not as if I'm just paying your school fees. What you will eat, where you will sleep, the materials you will need are all sponsored by Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum, making a bold statement to the world and to the good people of Ghana, every leader in this country, that Ghana is capable. And when we say Ghana is capable of managing its own affairs, we are not just speaking into a vacuum. We are speaking to the heart and mind of those who do believe in that we can engineer ourselves out of poverty. If we can't even see anything, just look at that example of what Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum has been able to watch. And that is why he keeps telling delegates and the good people of Ghana that when he gets the opportunity, every constituency, every year, 100 engineers will be trained. So for 4 years, how many engineers are you looking at? 400. Plus 30 doctors. So will districts be lacking doctors? And this is just a deliberate policy. It is very deliberate. And if we don't take that path, then still we'll come back to your studio again, discuss GDP issues, going fluctuating left, right, center, discuss exchange rate issues, and then the following week we'll come back to discuss the same thing
The
again.
same
And you
thing
ask,
again.
where are we going?
We can engineer ourselves out of poverty is the core of the message coming in from the camp of Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum, and I am going to be getting even deeper into this conversation. But thank you so much for joining Voting Voices here on MX24. We're going for a quick commercial break. When we return, the conversation continues here in the studio. We'll be right back after this. You're welcome back to Voting Voices here on MX24. Before we went on the break, we're talking about how the Ghanaian can engineer him or herself, or the Ghanaian can engineer themselves out of poverty. And that's the message of Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum. And of course, I've been speaking to Mr. Mensah here, who is trying to convince me to vote for Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum. Because when you sit down and think about how policies could have been, initiated to help live, just alleviate poverty, and for as long as I can remember as a young person that I am, it's almost as if nobody is thinking about them. It's almost as if we can speak about them, but once we get into power, we're forgetting about what we said, and it's very disheartening.
Yeah, it's hard. It's at times you sit and you ask yourself, why?
Yeah. What's going on?
What have we done?
I wish this was a Baumia conversation. Then I would ask a question that why do we really have to, bring back? Because again, now I can't say the educational minister was part of government. So why didn't they give us a better year or a better, economy? So don't worry, we'll get there. Don't worry, I'm with you. Okay, they're on their own. I'm with you. Okay. Now let's talk about the fact that Ghana's population is made out of a good number. Let me say a good number of the Ghanaian population is youth.
Sure.
And we are engulfed with unemployment.
Sure.
It's unfortunate every year, to the point that there was a time where there was an organization called the Unemployment Organization, right? The Unemployed Youth Association.
Unemployed Graduate Youth.
Graduate Youth. It was that bad. It gets worse every year. Every single time we see the numbers, just rising and rising. What is his plan to tackle that?
So that's what leads us back into the prosperity, the job market, the skill development and entrepreneurship thing that I indicated to you earlier. And as I indicated to you, prosperity begins with jobs. Once I have a meaningful and dignified job to do, then what it means is that it's a gradual means of winning myself out of poverty. So therefore, it becomes central to what Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum is bringing on board. Now, Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum seeks to create an economy where every skill and talent has a place in the job market. Very deep in there. Every skill, every talent should have a place in the job market.
How does he intend to do that?
Yeah. So earlier I mentioned the prosperity centers to you. Yeah. So what is the sense in establishing that prosperity centers? Now we know, and I believe you do agree with me that poverty is local.
It's local.
Yeah, poverty is local. So what it means is that in my village, if I'm poor, the environment tends to have an effect on me. And therefore, the opportunities which I probably do not know exist within the community that I find myself, therefore I'm relegated. And I still pessimist about what the society can offer me. But if there are enough opportunities within the environment that I find myself, I'm able to gauge out and see where my talent fits. Then grab that opportunity, develop myself and make myself relevant to the society. With the 100 engineers that we are mentioning, we are not just training them for national work. we are training them as a means of eradicating poverty within their very district. How do we do that? That is harnessing their potential. What are the opportunities that exist within that space? Mind you, we are looking at giving you that comfort to be able to even think yourself out of what you already know, so that what you already know can be built on, translate into poverty eradication measure, and decentralizing development that will eventually affect that very potential or the talent that you do have. Very fundamental in there. So we will be doing that so that we move Ghana beyond dependency on government work.
And I think, to be honest, to be fair, I mean, the last 4 years, let me just say the last 5 years has seen a hike in young people ignoring even government work and starting their own businesses. And that has become, that space has also been largely challenged with taxes, with how to start your business, with funding. Because these young people
you are not coming home. You are not coming home with your testament. That's why I was using the Ghana Revenue Authority experience as to start a certain conversation. Gradually, you've come in there.
Wow.
And there you are in there.
I'm coming there. So we have been challenged that, listen, I do not care about government business.
Sure.
I want to start my own business, but then taxes are draining me. How to even register my business is even a challenge here. So all of these things are even stifling the growth of SMEs
Sure.
in Ghana.
So let me help you.
Please help me.
Yeah. So let me help you. Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum, when given the opportunity with regards to registration, etc., we want to have a one-stop shop in every district. Where I walk in there, where I have to do my registration, I don't have to move away from that building to another place to have that done. So within that 24-hour space, within that working space, I need to get everything done within that building to save me time and the stress. And again, the prosperity centers that I mentioned to you is looking at what you want to offer or what you are bringing on board. How can we meet you halfway? And we are not going to come after you on the basis of a young man establishing an entity and we are after you for your tax. No. That is not what we are looking at. Even we are looking at even giving tax holidays or incentives to multinational companies that seeks to employ a certain chunk of people, especially within the mining areas, that within the community you are employing these people, you should have a concession in taxes or the equipment that you import into the country. So by so doing, when you are well established and the individuals begins to work and merit some salary, eventually they will pay their income tax. Still, what we had, if we had earlier chased you for that tax, is coming back. Why rush? There is no need in rushing. If you are born to kill the elephant, you wouldn't even worry yourself with a rat. And therefore, we only have to turn what we have consistently been doing over the years. So, when you put all these together, you realize I haven't even mentioned to you that government will be coming to you, give you 25% tax, whatever. No. I haven't mentioned to you any tax element because the prosperity, as I indicated to you, starts from you and me. Once the individuals prosper, the country prospers. So that is the conventional wisdom that we are departing from the normal economic sense that we already know. That taxes, and you hear economics, the government should widen the tax, bring more people into the tax net, etc. People ordinarily, no rational human being would take up his money and walk to the taxpayer, please, I'm coming to pay my tax. Especially within the third world countries, because we ask ourselves, what is the country offering me? Nothing. I'm on my own. And therefore, what American will say, think of what you can do for your nation or what your nation can do for you, will never be on the lips of Ghanaians.
Of course.
I don't know whether if you've said some before. So the essence is that we need to empower our people.
Okay.
How then do we empower them? Giving them that opportunities that exist within the job market. Let them choose for themselves what they want to do in future. Let the opportunities open up. And that opportunities can open up when there is that conventional wisdom, that experience that other people have been able to do, taking themselves out of the poverty line, and now we going back to beg them for a living. We need to take that path. And that path is embedded in the heart and the mind and the experience of Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum,
Okay.
who is number 4 on the ballot.
Yeah, that number 4.
Simple.
So now let's come back to the NPP race, and we're going to just have like 1 minute on that, please.
On the race, just 1 minute.
Because I mean, we've talked about many things, but this one is a very tight one,
Sure.
in my opinion. You have, initially we would have said that there's not so much to worry about, but as time went on, the race became a bit tighter, and you're gearing towards 2026 for your primaries. What is the plan? What is the strategy? Because you have Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who has been here, who has maybe what someone outside the party would say has the heart of the party. You've seen Kennedy Japan, who probably has been in front of big conversations for as long as I can remember the NPP for. And so again, when you look at the race, that is a tight one, and everyone on there, including Dr. Adutwum, is a big fellow. I mean, so to speak. What is the strategy to win 2026?
So the strategy
Primaries.
the strategy is very simple. Each of these fantastic individuals are going on their own merit.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the NPP is looking for a presidential candidate.
Right.
A candidate that Ghanaians are ready to embrace. A candidate that Ghanaians cannot point out any difficulty with regards to having a relationship with that individual. Unblemished, a trustworthy fellow, a proven reformer, a great thinker. And I have said it on countless occasions on different platforms that this contest is a clash of ideas, a clash of proven integrity, and a clash of proven track record. Fortunately, all these individuals have had a taste of government, had the ability to contribute, and Ghanaians do their own assessment of these individuals. My party does an assessment on these individuals because we go on the campaign and they are telling us what we've been able to do. They tell you, so Doc, with you were able to commission 80 projects in a single day. 80 solid projects in a single day, unprecedented. That is a track record a delegate of the party is telling him. Somebody he's never met before. And you are giving a testament to the Accra STEM Academy project. Numerous people tells, you mentioned Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum's name, and what they tell you, the man who is preaching about STEM education, the man who is telling us that we can engineer ourselves out of poverty. That is the man that Ghanaians are looking out for. That is the man that Ghanaians cannot even tag an aspect of corruption, an aspect of abusing any individual in this country. In his private life, in his public life, as Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum, because he's noted for quality, he's noted for societal building, and he's noted for the spirit of ensuring that Ghana gets to the heights that we all seek for. And that can only be achieved making him the flag bearer of the NPP, resting on the shoulders of our delegates. And I have no doubt in my mind that delegates of the NPP, that Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum seeks a dignified life for them. Because we said it, that we don't want a situation whereby one individual can claim ownership of the party and tell that I can direct individuals or delegates in the party to do A, B, or C. But we seek to empower them so that they are proud of their party and will never be seen as elections machines and only be called upon during primaries and elections in the NPP party. No, that is not what we are seeking for. We are only seeking to build them up, make them bold leaders, so that when they begin to do their house-to-house campaign, they enter into your house, you see this person as a man of integrity, wanting to sell a certain political party, thinking to me, wanting to sell a certain individual to me. And I see his life and I'm able to attest that indeed, when given the opportunity, other people's life will change just like what they experience. That's why Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum is proposing to them that he seeks to establish a scholarship scheme for the party. That if I'm a party member, my son or daughter gets admission to any tertiary institution, and I don't even have the means to take them, I fall on my party for that support.
This is for party members.
Yeah,
How about
for the
Ghanaian
party
people?
members, because we'll be dealing with the party on
For
the
the
31st.
for the 31st.
Sure.
So
And
party people first.
But
Got
so,
it.
so they will give us the opportunity
To
to
lead
do it.
the country. Got
So
it.
that's why I say that
Got
once
that.
they have a dignified life,
Yes.
when they come to your house for a house-to-house campaign, you see them.
You have
His
evidence.
life
Yeah.
tells that when we give them the opportunity, others will have a better opportunity.
Got that.
And therefore, you are always comfortable dealing with them.
Got it.
And again, we seek to bridge that gap between government and party. You don't need Yaw Opoku Mensah to talk to before you can get assistance from the party. We are seeking to establish a system whereby you walk into the party office, tell them what you want, that is put into our database on the computer, a receipt is given to you. The president, His Excellency to be Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum, just a click of the mouse, he opens up, he sees the request which has come.
Interesting.
Every appointee that request should be in your fold. You see it on your dashboard. And you have a 48 hours to give a response to the request. And even if the request is not available as at that material moment, you give timelines and engage them for them to understand that indeed you are working for their interest. And again, we are telling them, every appointee will visit a polling station meeting. You need to know what is happening down there. You shouldn't be comfortable in your office in Accra or wherever you find yourself. You should be at the grassroots end. Engage them. Where the people will tell you, this is the thinking of our constituency. This is the thinking of the people within our locality, the market people. This is what they are saying. So what do? Then you get at first hand the right information, so that you be able to double your step in meeting the needs of the people.
Finally, so we can wrap up this
Sure.
conversation. Two things. Why is Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum thinking now is the time to actually go for this position to lead the party? And I'm saying this because right now, as we speak, the party NPP has gone through a phase where I think very recently I read a document on this platform about some directive from a committee that's been put together to make sure that as you go on your campaign trains, you are measured in language, and that's how
Let me
far
ask you, am I measured in my language on your
super
platform?
measured.
Thank you.
Super measured. You speak very well. I must give
Thank
that
you.
to you.
Thank you.
And you know how to control the conversation. I like that too. If ever I want to speak for a political party or an individual, you're the one I'm coming to learn from. So I like that about you. But there had to be that communique to a party that once was believed to be an elite party and a party that is very measured in language, considering the fact that you had some of the best lawyers in the NPP, some of the very educated people in this country in the NPP. So why is he considering to be a part of this race, not later in life?
Every season comes with its own set of leadership. And every season comes with its own set of identified challenges that needs leadership to deal with.
Yeah.
That's why I indicated to you the 5 people vying for this flag bearership slot. They are all capable.
Yeah.
They've been able to do something for themselves as private individuals, had the opportunity to be in government, whether as a board chair or whatever, contributing their quota towards national development. But on any material moment, one stands out. And the person that stands out is Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum. When it comes to our current developmental challenges, the ability to identify that gap tells that indeed he is the most prepared individual who understands, makes the challenges local and very simple to appreciate. And therefore, once you do have a fair comprehension about the challenge at heart, you are able to think or reason outside a conventional wisdom to be able to solve or deal with that challenge.
Awesome.
And that is why within our current situation, Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum's leadership is of vital importance, not to the NPP alone, to the nation called Ghana. I take myself out of my relationship with Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum, see myself as an individual citizen of this country, and ask myself, what are we lacking? Why are we where we are and cannot be where others have been, those that we started with? We still mention the likes of Malaysia coming to Ghana to learn even how to plant palm nut trees. We still have Koreans. We still have Singapore's. These are examples. These are peers that we started with. But they are way beyond where we aspire to be. So you ask yourself, what did we do wrong? And what we did wrong, what we didn't get right, is what the man has identified. And therefore, it is our responsibility to listen to the 5 people, begin to question what they believe in, and understand the developmental challenges and situate that challenges in what they are putting on the table. His development is decentralized. What he believes in as a dignified life is not only centered within the cities or among a few fellows. When I started, I told you that he has lived in poverty, waged war against poverty, won it as an individual. And as a private individual, as a black man in the US, going to the Wall Street to take a loan from Wall Street, where even countries struggle to break through there. One individual goes in there and secures $25 million for his school. It tells you what the potential is. It tells you that duty call. And it is that duty call from Ghanaians that is empowering him. And the first tip that you played, after series of consultation, series of people admonishing him not to leave his leadership out just because we are out of government, but they want him at the front burner. And it's a challenge that he accepted, that he wants to offer himself to the service of Ghana and ensure that Ghana's history is changed. Ghana's history is rewritten. Ghana's history will be told, and Yaw Opoku Mensah will be mentioned that I was part of that history making on that day. And that is why his leadership for the party and the country is of vital and very significant in this whole conversation between 2028 and beyond. And we are duty bound to ensure that we do enjoy that leadership skill that Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum offers to the good people of Ghana.
Thank you, Mr. Yaw Opoku Mensah. He is a spokesperson for Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum, and he is a spokesperson. I want to give that to him. I owe him lunch. I owe him lunch because one day when I want to be a spokesperson for a president, which is going to be very soon, I would want to take some of these techniques from you. So definitely. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming, Mr. Mensah. But also, to you out there, he has shared with us the dreams and aspirations of Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum. Do you think they are feasible? Do you think that he has, enough credibility to present these dreams? And are they attainable? Well, you're going to share with us, right? You're going to communicate with us. Let's get connected. Let's keep talking and keep talking, because the 31st of January, right, is also going to give us a new face of politics, because we're going to see a new leader leading the NPP towards the 2028 elections. And I will be so elated to be here to continue to have these conversations. Now, hopefully we're able to have a conversation with you after that election on the 31st of January. Thank you for coming. And to you out there, thank you for being a part of Voting Voices. My name is, again, Miriam Udwak Mensah. See you again next week.